Welcome back everyone, Mariah Monetize here, and in today's video, we're gonna be going over the price of Bitcoin and where I anticipate the price to go. Yes, it's been a minute, and me, just like everyone else, is coming out of the woodworks to talk about Bitcoin. It's been several months since I made a video, and one of the biggest reasons why I haven't been around for that long, or for a long period of time, is because I am rarely at home by myself. I work from home. I'm typically working with people from home. And so it's really hard to find a quiet moment to make a video. But I am visiting my parents in California, and I finally have a moment of silence by myself to make a video. So we are already celebrating Christmas out here in California, and I am looking forward to talking about Bitcoin today. So it's been extremely hilarious to come back to California and for my parents to be like freaking out about Bitcoin and trying to accuse me of not telling them to buy more Bitcoin after I told them about 15 times to sell everything they had back when Bitcoin was $1,000 to buy Bitcoin and live out of a van. I told many people to do that, and most didn't listen and are forgetting the fact that I told them to do that. I mean, I didn't personally do that, but I definitely have stayed invested and tried to have basically taken every single dollar I possibly have and buy Bitcoin over the years. So anyways, let's get into the price of Bitcoin, where I see it going. So the things that I'm going to talk about today are nothing crazy. They're actually kind of more on the basic side, and a few different like indicators and things that I'm personally watching to basically catch a local top. So what I'm currently trying to do is catch a local top on Bitcoin to sell a little bit and to buy back a little bit lower once we see a pullback. I think that we are due for a pullback on Bitcoin in the next month or so, and that is my current game plan. So a few things that I am considering is the psychological top of $100,000. So just so you guys know, I watch Tone Vays and I get a lot of my insight from him. And he's been trading for, I think, over 20 years. And so he has a lot of great information. So check out his videos if you guys want to. But a psychological top is something that we should always keep in mind, okay? Big round numbers is where people typically sell their buy orders, okay? I mean, put their buy and their sell orders. So an amateur is going to put, a sell order for Bitcoin at $100,000, but someone with a little bit more insight is going to be putting their sell orders between $98,000 and $100,000 because we know that 100K is probably going to be front run a little bit. So it's always a good idea to kind of stack your buy and sell orders just below of where you think it's going, because we know that we're probably never going to catch the top and we're never going to catch the bottom, and that's okay. So I am anticipating, anywhere probably in between 97 and 100 is where we're going to see the next local top. I could see that actually happening in the next several days. Let's go ahead and take a look here at the hourly on Bitcoin. So as you can see there, I have a line drawn at 97,179. So kind of looking to pay attention to Bitcoin in that particular range and maybe scale out as it kind of gets into 100K. We just broke all-time highs today. And I do anticipate between now and the end of the week to see a little bit more room to the upside. I also have this trend line drawn here, and I actually drew this on the daily. So I drew this trend line on the daily, and what I would be watching closely for on this trend line, what I anticipate to happen is we see a break into anywhere between 97 and 100K, and we see a bit of a pullback at least to this $87,000 range. But I would say also set some buy orders below that. So here on the daily, what I'm going to be watching closely for is not just only a break of the trend line, but a daily close. Okay. So we might see a break of this trend line like on the hourly, which has, in my opinion, a little bit of significance, but when we're looking for more significance, a stronger indicator, I am looking for a daily close below that trend line. So that's what I'm particularly looking for, selling off maybe a small portion of my Bitcoin and buying back around between probably 80 and 87 is where I will stack some buy orders. So you see all these different colors here on my chart. This is something that I really haven't talked about in my previous videos, but those are Fibonacci lines. And so it's something that I really started using maybe this year when I was in like an options trading group. And the good thing, a good, way of using the Fibonacci, or a good reason to use the Fibonacci levels, is to basically predict all-time highs, right? So we are in all-time high range, and what you want to do when you are, let's see here. Basically, when you draw Fibonacci levels, you are looking to draw it from a swing high down to the low here. So it's kind of up to you. What I did was, here was a swing high. I drew it down to here. You can see that there was a wick down a little bit further. So I drew it around the 52 area, although there was a wick down to the 49 area. For me, I like this better because there were more touch points on the chart. So I took it as more of an accurate way to draw my Fibonacci lines. And if you take a little bit closer, then you can see how much was respected here at this $87,000 range. So when Bitcoin was pumping, I was anticipating 87. We obviously got a pump a little bit above that, but as you can see, we kept on having these smaller pullbacks that were in that $87,000 range. So a lot of respect of that current level there. As you can see, obviously we blew past it, but we came back and we retested it several times. So I think that we will see probably between now and the end of the year, I am anticipating another retest of that particular level. Another thing, when it comes, we're in all-time high range, so that kind of changes things, but always just be looking left. So for example, we're in all-time high range, so there's really not an opportunity to look left. But for example, you can see something very important here, and this is something that you can use in the future. So as you can see, Bitcoin was trading for quite a while in this range of like 72 and 54, right? Quite a long channel there. And when you're looking for Bitcoin, this was obviously that high of about 73,000, and we were watching Bitcoin try to break it. But look how many instances Bitcoin made an attempt. Okay, we see it here, we see it here, here, and also here. And what you can, perspective that you can look at it over time is that it's a bit of a ceiling, and the price keeps on trying to break through it, and it gets a little bit weaker over time. And this can also happen on the downside as well. So it was eventually going to break, and obviously it took some time, but the way that I perceive it is every time it challenges the previous all-time high, it kind of weakens it. So as you can see here, finally, we tried to break it, couldn't, had to pull back, and then just blew right through the previous all-time high. So that's what I'm talking about when looking left. So another way that you can also trade that is as you're looking left, you're basically, if you think that, the price is weak going into that previous all-time high, then that's an opportunity to obviously short. So that's basically how I drew my Fibonacci levels. And what you can also reflect back on is, I always like to see how Bitcoin behaved in the past. I like to think as cryptos and stocks as having a personality. And, they're kind of like people. They don't really change that much, maybe a little, but, people typically stay the same over the years. It's very rare for someone to really make any dramatic change in life. So as you can see back here, same sort of thing where here is that Fibonacci level as well. I mean, kind of similar price action. So you can see that Bitcoin ran up here and then there was that pullback. So if you're looking at it from a time perspective, you can see here that, and this is where this $42,000 range would be equivalent to like what Bitcoin is going to hit in the $97,000 to $100,000 range. That basically happened on January 8th, 2021. And then you can see how many times it pulled back and respected this level. And it did it for the last time on January 27th. So that was approximately 3 weeks between that time range. And I think that also an important thing to look at is time periods when we're trying to predict the price, whether we're trying to get in, get out. For most people, I always say it's not worth it to try to trade and get in and out. But I definitely feel like I have spent a bit more time on education over the last year and feel a bit more confident in my decision making. And I always look at the charts and I'm like, anticipate something to happen, and it typically ends up happening. I just never execute, kind of sort of out of laziness. This Fibonacci line, you could even see after Bitcoin hit that all-time high of 69,000 that it came back and respected that level many, many times. So, Fibonacci levels is something that I haven't used in the past, but I think it's a really nice indicator to use when it comes to predicting all-time highs. So let's go ahead and take a little bit of a closer look here on Bitcoin. So obviously we see that daily chart. We've made an all-time high today, which is rather bullish. We're currently sitting at 93,312, and the high of today has been 94,105. And another example I can kind of show you when it comes to psychological tops is that you can see here, this is just a few days ago on the 13th, that the high was, let's see. Excuse me for a second here. That's weird. I was looking at maybe a different exchange earlier where it was like $93,989. So just kind of something to always think about when we're hitting 95, 96, 97, 98 is those psychological numbers where people kind of are anticipating to get out. For me, it's kind of weird. I think it's always good to kind of front run those numbers, but it's just a common thing. When you look at buy and sell orders, there's typically a lot of thickness at those levels. So here we have the daily chart, and let's go ahead and take a look at the 12-hour looking strong as well. I think it's important to really draw this trend line here on the daily chart. And like I said, it might break it on the hourly, the 4-hour, but what I'm really looking for is a daily close below as a bearish indicator. So looking strong on the hourly as well. We might see a massive breakout. Honestly, today is possible, but if not today, sometime this week here. Let's take a look at the hourly. Yeah, so all these time frames are looking rather good. And that's pretty much my current game plan going into Bitcoin. I'm not trying to unload everything at 97, but I am going to sell off a portion with the whole intention to buy back at a lower level, and not just buy back what I sold, but obviously to buy back more Bitcoin to increase my position. So those are my current thoughts on Bitcoin. I hope you guys are all doing extremely well. I've just been working really hard the last year on building my scooter rental business. I also rent Jeeps, scooterrentalpr.com if you're visiting Puerto Rico. It's been a really cool thing because I'm so passionate about scooters. The first thing I did when I moved to Puerto Rico was I bought a scooter. I had it for maybe a year and a half, and then it got stolen, which I was anticipating to happen the whole time because I never chained it up. I didn't park it in a very safe spot. But it's been amazing how many scooters I have rented over the last year. And I started it because I was like, wow, this can really make people's experience in Puerto Rico significantly better. And that was something that really excited me because it's really important to me that when people visit Puerto Rico, they have a positive experience. I'm obsessed with Puerto Rico, and I want everyone else to experience it in such a way that I do. There's just so much beauty and culture and incredible people and so many unique experiences to have on the island. So it's really fun to be in an industry where I feel like I can make people's experience in Puerto Rico better. And that is definitely the center of the business. And so it's just been a really cool and awesome thing. And yeah, so that's pretty much it on the price of Bitcoin. If you want to see more videos from me, go ahead and leave a comment down below. And cheers to you. And as always, go out there and create a portfolio that you love.